Here we are live with the Rare Network podcast, episode 13, with Miguel from Sarcophagus. Hi, Miguel. How's it going today?
Pretty good. And I appreciate you guys having us on.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. It was great. Pleasure having you at Rare Evo this year and having you guys a part of it. We always love kind of discussing Sarcophagus, which we'll get into a little bit here in a little bit, and what you guys are doing. We think it's like an amazing use case. But before we get into all that, I want to kind of ask you some stuff, man. Like,
Sure.
Miguel, what was your upbringing? How did you find crypto? Like, what was your, your job, before crypto?
So, kind of my background is grew up in the Bay Area in California with a pretty blue collar family. My parents worked really hard, got us to go to college, and me and all my brothers actually ended up becoming engineers. So, we are all various types of engineers. I ended up starting to work in oil and gas and the energy industry. And I would say probably pre-crypto, that's probably one of the most exciting industries you can go into, and in terms of like opportunities, traveling, doing a bunch of fun and cool stuff, and playing with like technology that's like next level stuff. So I've been doing that for roughly 10 to 15 or so years before I really got into crypto. And it wasn't really until probably 2019, 2020. So I heard of Bitcoin and all that stuff pre 2019, but I used to laugh it off and be like, oh, it doesn't sound like it makes sense and all that kind of stuff. So a lot of my older friends who got in a little bit before me, I used to laugh at them. And then what ended up happening is in 2019, 2020, especially when the pandemic hit, I was actually my company put me through a program to get a master's in computer science. And at that time, so I was like a fully devoted student. So not that I had a lot of time, but like I had extra time to kind of explore different things. Started to really get into crypto. Firstly, as like just divest, like a way to invest into other things, to diversify investing, and then eventually once I finally started understanding it on top of the computer science, learning that I was getting, understanding programmability, networking, all that kind of stuff, it started to really connect, and I really started to feel like how this is going to be like the next big thing that's going to shake up everything, just like how TV shook up stuff, and then the internet started to change the way we interact with each other. And I think now crypto is going to be the next big thing, how we transact with each other. So, going from interacting to how we transact, and that's the kind of thing that kind of got me hooked. And from there, discovered Sarcophagus at a very early time when they were just getting started, and one thing led to the other, and now I've been helping out and contributing for now almost 2 years here at Sarcophagus.
I love that. What is your current position or title at Sarcophagus?
So we're still a pretty small group. I think there's probably about 5 full-time people working with Sarcophagus right now. I guess the main role that I'm kind of help filling is around growth and business development. So part of the reason I ended up going to Rare Evo and kind of representing us is to kind of reach out, discuss with community folks, try to talk to other projects, see what synergies, where things can connect, and since we've recently just launched our project on mainnet and Ethereum, the V2 or version 2 of our dApp, that's been our big focus now. Is hopefully once the markets start picking up steam again, getting activity with other projects, figuring out how we fit in the ecosystem, and basically just try to grow the project as much as we can.
Awesome. Myself and Wes have been huge followers of Sarcophagus for a long time, but those who don't know, give us kind of like a brief overall of Sarcophagus. What's the use case there? What you guys are doing? I love the branding and the Dead Man Switch, but tell us in your words, kind of what it all is.
Yeah, so I mean, Sarcophagus, if you ask our founder, one of the big things that we're trying to accomplish with Sarcophagus is basically enable anybody to have control of their assets. And by saying assets, anything digital data that you have. And what our main goal is basically creating a way that bridges blockchain, traditional blockchain like Ethereum network, or it could be in theory any other network, to permanent on-chain data storage. So we link Arweave in conjunction with Ethereum to basically allow you to store data on-chain that's going to be permissionless, censorship resistant, and then you can control how that data is transferred to your desired recipient. And you do that via a dead man switch. So basically, you can package up any kind of data that you want. It gets stored on Arweave, and it gets transferred to the person that you desire to send it to, and it'll be only exposed to them once that dead man switch goes off. So you can kind of think of some of our use cases. You can kind of see them in my banner up above, but like we're really trying to connect and tie together the use cases of estate and inheritance planning. I think that's a huge use case in crypto in general that a lot of people don't really have connected, because putting your seed phrase on a piece of metal in a coffee can buried behind the oak tree in your backyard is not the most secure way to secure your seed phrase, right? So there's alternative methods that you can use, you know, cryptography, encryption, all these methods that we have built into the blockchain to safely secure your data to ensure that it goes to the proper person at the end of the day. And I think that's what our main goal is to basically enable maximum decentralization, maximum control and ownership of your own assets to make sure they get from one place to the other. I mean, one of the analogies our founder uses a lot when he explains some of these things is like creating and using the tools that we have in hand, cryptography and encryption, to basically write your seed phrases or whatever secret that you want on a piece of paper in invisible ink. And then whenever you want it to, that ink's going to appear to the person. So that's kind of like the technical stuff going on in the background will release that message through that dead man switch at the end of the day.
That makes sense. So like will and testament type thing, you know, you're alive, you check in every so often, let the blockchain know you're alive. If you pass in, you're not able to pass that signature along. After so long, it will then release your seed phrase to what, like a designated loved one or something
Yep.
like that.
Yep.
And
I
what
mean,
other use cases are there?
so there is like just general password recovery. So I know a lot of people talk on like the Ethereum space with social recovery, where you have guardians to help protect your seed phrase. I mean, you can ultimately create a way to basically make yourself your own guardian. If you have like cold wallets and hot wallets, and you manage a bunch of different wallets, if you have one that you use in general and all purpose, you can make that a recovery phrase, a recovery wallet for your seed phrase. So there's all different ways that you can kind of manage your password recovery through different schemes and through your own wallet management. Another one is like a locked savings account. So if you're a really bad degen and you like to trade stuff and you try to set plans and you can't do it, if you use the dead man switch capabilities and you lock it, and it's like impossible, you won't be able to brute force your way to access those funds until that dead man switch goes off. Another one that we're pushing a lot right now in terms of use case is data at rest security. So if you're a company that has trade secrets or really sensitive data that you want to remain secretive, but you also want it to be able to be accessible to other parties, you can upload that data into Sarcophagus, create your Sarcophagus, and then you can create, depending on the use case, you can either have that switch go on after a certain period of time to pass trade secrets, to manage secure personal data, or you can just make it like a licensing. Say you have some software and you need to share a common license, you can make that license available where people who have access to this wallet can access that license information at any time, so that it's not stored on Amazon or Google Cloud or some centralized service that may, terms of service changes and then boom, you're SOL, right?
That makes sense. And so with that, are you able to like remove permission from somebody to see something after time then, or close the sarcophagus back up, I guess, would be an analogy.
So once a sarcophagus is created, you have the ability until it's unwrapped or until it's unencrypted and exposed. You, as the creator of the sarcophagus, has the opportunity to bury it at any time. But once it's unwrapped and it's exposed to the recipient, they're going to be able to see it for forever because it's going to be encrypted through their public key on Arweave. So they'll be able to access it forever.
So like a one-time license distribution or something like that would be a good analogy for how like a business could distribute licensing and things like that.
Yep. I mean, there's like a lot of like, for example, like a Dropbox Web 2 type solutions where you're storing a bunch of data and trust in this company to store your data in a secure manner. What happens, LastPass, password security or password managers, you know, don't like to point fingers, but like when these companies get compromised, basically they expose everything that you uploaded into them.
And
So
that's a great idea. Like I could take my private wallet, lock it in a sarcophagus, and as long as I'm able to sign with my private wallet, which means I can access it, it won't release. And then have a secondary wallet that it releases to if I ever lose access to my first wallet. Is that kind of the idea with that? Like as kind of a password loophole to save yourself if you ever can't get into your wallet?
yeah, like say you have your own hot wallet that you're using on a daily basis and you're
Right.
using that for your day-to-day stuff. You can use that as the recipient of your cold wallet. And as long as you have your cold wallet, we call it rewrapping, which is basically resetting the clock. You can go back in, submit a transaction to rewrap and set that time period longer, and that will effectively lock that cold storage wallet for however long until you keep attesting to it and keep setting transactions to reset that clock.
I love that. That's actually really, really cool. What are like the costs for using the sarcophagus service and stuff?
So that was a big factor into some of the things like you see on the screen right now, our omni-chain token model right now. So
Mm-hmm.
originally we were launched just primarily on Ethereum, and due to Ethereum network charges to make a sarcophagus, just the plain network fees that you're paying to Ethereum because of the smart contract interactions you're doing and everything, it was costing about $20 to $30 based off just network fees, right? So what we recently did, and you can kind of see there in the top right hand picture, is now we're starting to deploy on layer twos. So we just launched a Polygon this past week. We're getting ready to spin up for Arbitrum, and effectively those network fees where they were about in the $15 to $30 range, depending on network usage, on Polygon and Arbitrum, they're going to be in the range of cents. So that network fee is going to be 2 to 5 cents on those layer twos that you're going to be paying.
And when you create a sarcophagus, like how long does that like last? Like how long are you paying for?
Oh, it's a one-time charge. So it's not subscription model or anything. The fees that you're paying to the network is to secure your sarcophagus. If you choose to keep extending your time, you're basically resubmitting an additional transaction to the network saying you're interacting with a smart contract saying, I'm the creator of the sarcophagus, please extend the time, this additional time that I would like. And so you would pay another, on say Polygon, you pay another couple cents of network fees to expand that time frame. But in
I
general,
love
you're not
that.
paying, there's no subscription model, there's no nothing, everything is upfront. So, you know, you look at like Dropbox or other Web2 storage companies where they charge you $10 a month for 100 gigabytes or whatever their plans may be. This is a way that you're saving your data forever on chain for and at a one-time cost.
I love that a lot. And as we can see here on the left, like the newest blog that just came out a couple days ago, it says multi-chain and omni-chain. What other chains are you guys looking at? Are we only looking at EVM? I know you've dabbled in Cardano a little bit. I don't want to get to that yet, but what are you guys looking at? What's on the plate there?
I mean, right now, like our focus primarily is EVM. The the tool the skill set that we have right now is going to be primarily dominated by the EVM chain in terms of what our developers are comfortable working with. I think we are definitely open at some point in the future if we can get enough traction and we can start growing a little further to start expanding to other chains. But primarily right now, our focus is going to be EVM based. I know I've kind of hinted and nudged a couple times to Zach about Makamada, Sebastian, and them. DC Sparks EVM compatible chain on Cardano, because that's an EVM compatible, layer 2. So that is something that, I'll keep pushing and nudging, and we'll see where we get to. But I'm sure if we can get enough steam when we start growing to the point where we can sustain additional developers who have experience in other VMs, be it Cardano, be it Solana, be it other chains or whoever, we're really chain agnostic. We don't really, we're building on Ethereum just because the easeability, the tooling, everything that's set up there, and just our own, from a project standpoint, what we're comfortable in, what we've done in the past.
Totally makes sense, man. And glad that you mentioned Milkomeda and all the wrap smart contract stuff going on there. That was a way I wanted to go, and we'd love to help facilitate those conversations and make that happen. If you guys wanted to have a talk with Sebastian, we can definitely set
No,
that
for
up. But
sure, man, for sure.
that's for after the call. I did want to ask about Rare Evo. The time you had there, what you kind of thought about it. What were your thoughts about Cardano before going to Rare Evo? And then kind of Rare Evo.
So, I mean, you could probably talk to everybody on the team. Like, I'm the one person who's like all about Cardano in general, outside of Sarcophagus. I mean, when Charles, put inklings out about what I think it was called Mamba, the IOHK EVM compatible L2 that they were supposed to be building out like years ago, I was like telling Sarcophagus folks, it's like, look. So, I mean, I've been part of the Cardano community for probably since 2020. And actually, it's the first chain that got me into crypto. The one friend I knew was into Cardano. And so for me, when I heard about Rare Evo and I started looking at all the projects that were involved with it, I was like, oh, great. Like these are all names I'm familiar with. So definitely love a lot of stuff people are doing at Cardano. I think it's starting to finally tooling, the growth, the chain maturation, all the stuff that's kind of coming together. Hopefully in this next bull run will be a great time for Cardano.
Yeah, man, really appreciate that. What do you think about the event Rare Evo?
So Rare Evo was really good. I mean, you guys put on a great show. Uh, all the days, all the networking events, all the stuff, getting to meet and talk to people. I think it was really well done. I've been to a lot of conferences, like mainly ETH specific ones, and I would say the community aspect that you guys kind of nurtured and created in terms of like putting two people together. It was really cool. I mean, I've gone to East Denver the past couple of years, and if you go there, it's just like a free for all. There's like, it's so sprawling, and there's just so many people. And I think I've met you guys at Consensus last year as well. And again, that's just so big. But like the way you guys put it on, how everybody was generally, pretty warm and welcoming and open for conversations and all that stuff. You guys did an awesome job put it together.
Man, much appreciated. Really do appreciate that, Miguel. What's like the future for Sarcophagus? Like, I know you're doing some dev stuff. Are there any conversations you guys are working on that you're willing to share, or anything like that?
Yeah, I mean, we're kind of taking a two-prong attack on the growth model of what we're looking at. I think first is we're trying to really target that estate planning market and that area. So we're trying to find different groups. We're talking with a bunch of different estate planning lawyers, some very, very native and prominent Web3 lawyers who are in the space and trying to come up with ideas and ways that we can kind of create a system that is on-chain, algorithmically designed and programmed to kind of make the whole estate planning process like seamless. Just like the way that peer-to-peer money and the whole Bitcoin thing is to help people interact with each other without needing intermediaries or other things, we think we can totally shift the way that estate planning is done. I mean, you look at what lawyers do and some of the paperwork and the unnecessary things that cost you as a user of legal services additional time and money. That is definitely one of the main ones that we're like really focusing on and trying to push. And basically, you use Sarcophagus almost like a backend framework for an application. So we're kind of doing some legwork right now, and maybe we'll come up with an app that's specific to estate planning that can help estate planners offer services that will be powered through Sarcophagus, keeping people's data on chain, secured, and enabling them a lot of stuff there. Another area
That
where,
makes a lot of sense. That's really powerful right there. Like basically I just want to kind of unpack a little bit of that. Like being the back end, the decentralized, immutable, verifiable back end for estate planning and will and testament, and there'll be, you could go to your front end app of your lawyer or whoever it may be, an estate planning service, and plug that information in, correct?
yep. I mean, we're almost kind of thinking of ourselves almost as a backend primitive, like a blockchain primitive of sorts, or infrastructure type project. So just like you can build a DEX aggregator on top of AMMs, or like on top of Uniswap or MinSwap, you can build like DEX Hunter or Paraswap, all these different projects that are basically on the back end use leveraging the contracts of Uniswap or whatever. We're thinking of like ways that we can help make other projects much more powerful. So, and from the standpoint of an estate planner, you think of it like Twilio in Web2 space. Twilio powers so much of the things that we do in the real world, where we think Sarcophagus can play that integral role of managing data, moving customers' data from one place to the other in the back end without them even really knowing it. So an estate planner could have their app that they're talking with their customer, they're uploading their will information, throwing it on chain where it's going to be fully immutable, but the user nor the lawyer needs to really know like the technical aspects of what's going on. All that is abstracted away from them. So the user interface, the user interaction, the user experience in general is going to be in a way that technical nuances of like what is actually happening on chain, how is their data stored, why is it immutable, all this other kind of stuff. That's not necessarily stuff that an end user really needs to know, or basically or sometimes even wants to know. So if we can build the infrastructure to power apps like that, another area would be like wallets, for example. Wallets can integrate Sarcophagus we just released our SDK not too long ago. If you're a wallet project, you can basically plug in Sarcophagus where you can create natively within your own interface, the wallet interface itself, be it MetaMask or whatever, or Rainbow Wallet. You can use your wallet of choice. The crypto space, your wallet is basically your identity and where you sit and interact for the most part. So we're trying to work with wallet projects to see how we can make them more feature rich, allow them more functionality, allow them the ability to store any kind of data. Because through Sarcophagus, you can upload images, videos, PDFs, text files, whatever through Sarcophagus. And if you could do that through your wallet and store data forever on chain, that's just an added bonus feature. And you can think of a bunch of different use cases you can do with that through your wallet if that serves as your identity.
That, or even like building in, like you said, password recovery that way.
Yeah, totally.
Through a wallet. I think that's kind of like if they can build it in natively, where it's like you're gonna set up your Sarcophagus lock and you need another wallet to attach it to. You're gonna set up two wallet accounts at one time or something like that. I don't know. Just
Yeah,
think
exactly. I mean, and like from the protocol, the wallet project, they wouldn't even need to necessarily call it, building a Sarcophagus. They can call it whatever they want, but it's going to be powered and used through our protocol. And,
right.
it allows the user to just understand I'm using this wallet. It helps make it just simpler. And I think that's one of the tough things that we have in crypto is that like, oh, I want to use this crypto thing. Oh, okay, now I need to go download a wallet and I need to save this 12 seed phrase. I need to do this. I need to go to Coinbase. I need to send, Ethereum or Cardano to the wallet. And you need to do all these steps even before you even get to use the app. So things that we can do to help make the wallet experience easier, more user friendly is I think is a win for the end user.
Completely agree, man. What I've seen a lot of you posting some other personal stuff. What all have you gotten your hands into? Is Sarcophagus the only project you're working on? You got a few things in the pipeline. What else is going on in your life when it comes to
Yeah, I
creativity?
mean, so Sarcophagus is probably like 90% of my time, but one of the areas, and this is me as my own personal interest, is really getting into token engineering and tokenomics. I think that's just a space in general that people kind of either haphazardly, look at what other projects do and just copy their tokenomics or token engineering model, but not very much thought is put into how to design incentives for tokens. So been talking a lot with Token Dynamics. It's run by Nate from Eat Sleep Crypto. He's another guy who's been around for a long time and has a lot of knowledge around that space. And there is a huge token engineering community, primarily in the Ethereum space. So Token Engineering Academy, Token Engineering Commons. That there's a lot of like academic and side work that's done on that space. But yeah, that's still a side hobby of mine that trying to get into more and more.
I love that, man. I love that. I definitely agree with you. Like looking at some tokenomics, people definitely need help there, and it's something that it's ever evolving. Like I feel like we're learning a lot of lessons as we go here. It's such a new industry. There's so much that goes into it, so it's definitely a really interesting topic.
Definitely.
Well, yeah, man. Anything else? Where can people find you online if they want?
So you can see from my name, my handles on all social medias is at USC Migs, Telegram, um, Twitter. Our main Twitter handle for the project is at sarcophagus.io, and our website sarcophagus.io. One thing that I do want to thank you guys for Rare Evo is actually we did connect with one guy, Slamtron or Sam, who is now helping us from an artistic standpoint as a graphic designer. So he's someone we met at Rare Evo, made a connection. He met with Liv, who was the other person there with me, representing Sarcophagus at Rare Evo, made that connection, and now he's doing some awesome stuff, some 3D animations. So we're helping to put it together a video of the way um, our new dApp works, the V2 of the dApp. So appreciate you guys helping with that connection just through the conference. The little things that help where you make connections and stuff. So I fully appreciate that.
Love to hear that, man. That's what the live events are all about, really. That's what we try to facilitate at Rare Evo, and glad to hear that you guys took away something from it, and hopefully you guys will be there with us this year. We're doing Las Vegas, August 15th through the 18th at Caesar's Palace. We're in the main ballroom, so really excited. Tickets are already selling online, booths are already selling online, and hope to get you guys back out there and having some fun.
Cool. No, yeah, totally. I think we enjoyed it. I think the feedback we got in general from the conference, from even non Ethereum users about our project was really impactful and helped steer some of the decisions and some of the design things that we're going to be taking seriously as we start to grow and stuff. So love Rare Evo. Thanks you guys for the opportunity for having us there, and yeah, looking forward to see you guys at 2024.
Yeah, man. And I think just to kind of touch on that, because I know we're so multi-chain here, we were talking about Midnight at the Cardano Summit and how kind of Polkadot's involved there. And we've already talked to some of the lead Polkadot developers and Dan Shields, a few of the guys that were at the event at Rare Evo this year. So really going to try and rev up even more multi-chain on the EVM side and bringing a lot more of that kind of developer focus in. So really excited to work with you guys as we go further, man. And I appreciate the time here this evening. Nice little half-hour podcast we're hitting right now. It's been amazing to kind of learn more about Sarcophagus and to get even more information out there about your project. Like I said, Wes and I have been huge supporters from the very, very beginning, dropped 2 years ago, farming with some stables and stuff like that. So it's really cool to watch the project grow and find market fit.
I was joking. I was with one of the other guys on our project. I looked at our Discord server, and it was like the second person I think was you in our Discord server. you know,
Dude, that's amazing.
the,
Super
the,
early.
the second, yeah, the second or third like person outside of the project team that was in the Discord was like you and somebody else. So
Dude,
you
that's
guys were
amazing.
early. You guys were early.
Yeah, we try, we try to find the good ones, and like, this one really, it really fits and it makes sense. When you hear about it, dead man switches, you hear about where that's needed in media and whistleblowers, and like we're saying, password protection. I didn't even think about that till today's podcast. Like, that's an amazing reason for this, and to be able to build it in with wallet integration, and then everything you're talking about, will and testament, and kind of being the back end technology, really makes sense to us. So it was something we were very passionate about and happy we got to connect.
Yep. No, again, thanks for all the stuff you guys have helped us with, and appreciate you guys reaching out to us.
Here's Miguel. Well, I appreciate the podcast, man.
Cool. Thanks, buddy.